So I just need to address a couple things before we get into today's video. One is I'm a little bit sick right now, so my voice might sound a little bit different. I apologize for that, but I did want to get this video out. It's been a while since I've posted a video. Second thing is that this is not the be-all end-all for skills. Like, take it with a grain of salt. If I say something you don't agree with, sure, that's welcomed. This is my opinion on the useless skills in Dying Light 2, so of course it's going to vary between playstyles, for example. Timestamps are in the description. Let's get on with the video. So at our number 5 spot is the Ledge Takedown. Now I don't have much to say about this other than that there's pretty much just always a better option than to just do a Ledge Takedown. With all the parkour and stuff to get around in this map, why would you put yourself at such a position where you're forced to do a Ledge Takedown? Logically, from a stealth standpoint, you don't want to be in that position ever. Also, doing normal takedowns allows you to do like the stab follow-up. You can have the smash takedown from above. And this is just an example. Like here, why would I go out in the open and go for that ledge takedown when I could just find a better way to get to him? So that's why this is at our number 5 spot. So at number 4 is the serial shot or the bow multi-shot. And I'm going to say this about most of the bow skills is that the bow itself is just outclassed entirely by the crossbow in pretty much every way. Damage output, fire rate, for example. This serial shot, I literally forgot this was in the game because I kind of stopped using the bows when I figured out the crossbow was so good, 1. And 2, I just not like I don't use the bow like this. It doesn't have like a visual indicator, so it's really inconsistent. Trying to mark the targets that you want to hit, like someone's close to you, like this guy, I didn't even hit him. It's a little bit finicky, yeah, with that, but again, like myself, I personally don't use the bow like that. I would just start spamming it at one target and just focus one guy down, aim for the head and whatnot. But here and there, it does seem to do pretty well. Like it does a decent amount of damage, and yeah, you can hit multiple targets with it, but it's just not the best option in my opinion on my playstyle. You may find it's great, you know, you love doing it. It's pretty fun, you know, to hit multiple targets. That's the novelty with it. But yeah, the bow is at our number 4 spot. Also, just wanted to say, yeah, you can't do it with the crossbow. So yeah. So at the 3rd spot on the most useless skills, we have the Deflect Projectiles skill. Now, this one I was a little bit disappointed on because, like, in a lot of RPGs and games, this is often like a really fun skill because it's just a really fun idea. And usually in past games, like I'm just gonna point out God of War, like this, it literally insta kills some of the enemies if you deflect it. It's also like a really like skillful skill, if you know what I mean by that. You know, you have to get the timing down, and usually there's a big reward for that. But here, there's really no practical use in combat. Like you saw that guy was chasing me and I just mowed him down with the crossbow. I got frustrated trying to deflect him while being pursued by an enemy. But yeah, you deflect it all for that damage. Like that's barely, it's negligible damage. I could just shoot him twice with the crossbow and he'd be dead. But here I'm using it solely just to showcase what it is. Something cool about it is you can use it to deflect it onto another enemy, but it's just garbage damage. Not useful and not practical. At number 2 is the Crowd Runner skill, and thankfully I didn't have to put much effort into my argument for this skill. I'm sure everyone's going to agree with me on this, but it's just so badly outclassed by the Bash skill in every way. Like, I really see no reason why you would use the Crowd Runner skill over the Bash skill. Maybe if you've unlocked it first and you don't even know about the Bash skill, but you can see here, I was trying to use it in a quarantine zone because I figured that'd be a place where a horde of zombies would be and you run through them, maybe in the street. But yeah, you saw there, I just used the bash skill. That's one of the problems about the crowd runners. You really like need to be walking or in motion for a while for it to activate while you're holding L1. Bash skill, you just press L3 and R2 right away, sprint and bash, and it works every time. It knocks all of them to the ground and does damage to them. In the description of the crowd runner, it says it reduces damage to you, but they're not going to do damage to you if you just use the bash skill and knock them down, right? So, anyways, another thing about the bash skill is you'll see here in a second, you can use it to open these quarantine zone doors and any really lockpick doors. Just hold R2 with the run into and you can just open it without lockpicking. Our first of two honorable mentions goes to the parkour shot. First here, what you're seeing is a clip of me, just how I normally use the bow in any gameplay situation, just on the street, finding some guys I want to shoot at and just shooting at them, plain and simple, right? I don't really find myself taking advantage of the parkour shot in gameplay. Like, you can combo with a slide if you suck at aiming and just line up your shots in slow motion. It's kind of like a bullet time. I'm gonna bring up another game comparison here to like Breath of the Wild. You know how when you're paragliding or whatever, you press the bow button and you go slow motion, right? It's kind of similar to that, because when you're in midair you can do it. But yeah, it's not necessary. The aim assist is pretty strong in this game. You could find like that's probably the best application of it if you use the enemy vault and just shoot them with the bow. Hipfire, again, I'm going to bring up the crossbow. You can just avoid all this hassle just by spamming the crossbow and killing them instantly. But yeah, if you don't have the crossbow, you side with the survivors for facilities, go ahead and use this. Pretty fun skill, again, has the novelty of the serial shot. Let's move on to the next skill. So this argument's a little more complex and involves the slide jump and like the active landing jump. Basically, these are like upgrades to the already existing skills. Like, this is the active landing jump, where you basically do, like, it's similar to the double tap R1 skill, the double jump, where you vault. It's on a like a waist high object, and you do a little double jump, bigger jump, and yeah, you can basically spam it with the active landing. But it takes like concentration to activate this skill. It's not very consistent and easy to use, and it kind of breaks your parkour flow if you use it, if you know what I mean. The slide jump, it's okay. Like, it's not, obviously not the best skill. Like, there's way better skills to get ahead of this. This would be one of the last ones you get. Not the last one though, you see why in a second. But yeah, it's something you can work around if you don't have. It's not necessary. Don't find myself really noticing this skill in use, and just like I'd have to force myself to use it in order to parkour with it. So the most useless skill in the game that is solely for novelty and just for show is the rotate jump. This should be the last skill you ever get in Dying Light 2. It's just no practical applications whatsoever. Again, sort of the same argument with the slide jump. I have to force myself to use it and stuff in order to, when I'm parkouring, to actually get use out of it. I've never found myself in a situation where I'm like, oh, let's rotate jump here, or when I didn't have it, like, oh, I wish I had rotate jump there. But yeah, like, I'm trying to find applications here in this clip. You'll see one good example when I'm trying to like rotate jump on top of a bridge that was behind me. But yeah, I also bring up this comparison with the grappling hook, and like, if you want to jump off someplace and use the rotate jump, you can just anchor yourself with a grappling hook, or just if you have the grappling hook in general, you don't really need this skill. This is that example though I was talking about. I'm gonna run up here, rotate jump on top of this ledge. Like, really, that's pushing it in my opinion. So that's why it's the #1 worst skill. See here, I can just turn around and jump instead. Like, if you have a high enough sensitivity as well, you can just turn around. This is also a good example of like using the Night Runner tools in a real parkour situation. Like, this was kind of cool. It gives you a little bit of speed and height, I feel. It just feels really finicky in use. Can't really integrate it freely into my parkour. And yeah, that's why it's our worst skill on this list. And now I just want to thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. If you have something you'd like to say in the comments, maybe asking me why I put something at a certain spot ahead of something else, you just want to negotiate some stuff, whatever, I'm free to do that. I'd like to do it. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.